Good morning. Well, for
Good
us, it's
morning.
morning. For you, it might be night. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hello, we'll say
Hello,
that. Hi,
everyone.
y'all. I've learned to use y'all so I don't offend anybody.
I like y'all.
What they want to
I'm
be
not from the
called.
South, but I like y'all. I always have.
I'm not from the South either. Southern California.
Yeah, right. And that's a whole different sound, probably.
Oh boy, yeah. Oh
Oh
my
my gosh,
goodness.
that's funny.
Anyway, welcome everybody to Two Psychic Moms. We are so happy that you have joined us, and we have all kinds of exciting stuff going on and coming up, and yeah, and the world is keeps on spinning, right?
It does.
So, this is Tammy Langowski, and I'm Julie Hawkins. Together, we channel as Two Psychic Moms, and separately, we have um, read a business where we do readings. We're both clear everything, and Tammy,
Exactly.
we just are. It's the way it is.
Yeah.
Remind me to tell you guys about a dream I had. Okay,
Oh, okay.
so even in my world, this was weird. So, Tammy, where can everybody find you?
So best on my website, tammysintuitive.com. I do have a contact form there if you're interested in a session. And I do channeled messages on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. That's really the main thing. And after we introduce ourselves, we'll talk about our event. And Julie, how about you? How can they reach you?
Julie.Hawkins at Facebook, and then Biz Psychic on Facebook. And I have things other places, but I just never posted them, so don't bother. And a reading can be done by going to my website and clicking on the reading that you want, and then purchasing it and scheduling it. All goes through my website, which I am just so happy to have to do that.
Mhm.
All right, so Tammy, our event.
Yes. So if you haven't heard, we have an event coming up. Julie and I are going to do a live Two Psychic Moms in person at the Amethyst House in San Jose, California on May 11th. It's coming up May 11th, Thursday night at 7 p.m. So we're really excited about it. And, it's a somewhat small venue. There's limited seating. So you want to purchase a ticket. I'll get this part out first. If you're interested in purchasing a ticket, go to amethysthousehealing.com/book. And that should take us right to that page to purchase your
Oh,
tickets.
good, Tammy. I was so
And
impressed.
oh, thank you. And what else did I want to say? Just that, it's going to be kind of the same format you see us do here. So bring some general questions that can kind of serve all. And if we have time, we might be able to address some personal questions as well. So we're excited about it. We hope to see you there. Thank you for all who have already purchased a ticket. So we look forward to
Yeah,
seeing you.
we are close to sellout, I understand. So I'm very excited about it. It is a very intimate space, and I am love that. I'm very excited about that.
Yeah.
Um, we I I just really feel like I got some affirmation. So it's really a week from this Thursday.
Yeah.
It's coming right up.
Mhm.
Uh, I just really got affirmation that we're going to have some spirit guides there, spirits who want to talk to people who are in the audience. So, and here's how I got this affirmation. I mean, I got it the last time we talked on Two Psychic Moms. It was like, whoa, all the spirits are going to come and want to join, which is not usually, not to say that it doesn't happen for me, but it's not my forte. My forte is really the word that nobody ever wants to use, but prediction. Okay, it's just what they tell me. I can't help it. It's funny, as I segue here for a moment, I was thinking as I was laying in bed this morning how I started to channel, and I'm not going to go back into that story now, but it was right as COVID had hit, and I remember them. I asked my guides, "How long is this going to last?" And they said 3 years, and I was like, "No, no, no, no. How long till we're back to basically where we were pre-COVID?" And they're like, "Yeah, three years." And I was just like so stunned. And we are at 3 years,
Mhm.
and we are, everything is kind of back to normal. It's become a way of life for us, as many other viruses like the flu and the cold. So, yeah,
Yeah.
they astonish me. Thank you. They just astonish. They said you're welcome. they just astonish me. Um, so yeah, I listen to them very, very carefully.
We do. That's what we do. Right.
All right. So here's why I feel so certain that we're going to have a lot of, I can't say a lot, that we're going to have some connection with spirits to that have passed, to the people who have who will be there on Thursday night. So here's my dream. So I'm getting ready to remodel my kitchen. I don't even want to talk about that. My sister's like, "Are you having fun?" I'm like, "I'll enjoy it when it's done."
Yeah, exactly. The
I
usual.
can't. Yeah, fun is not the right word, but it needs it anyway. So I took out a HELOC because I don't have that kind of money laying around, and forgot that I have somebody on title with me for my house who also has to sign those forms. And he is a very, very, very dear for. More family. I'm not going to say more family than my real family, but he's family. We've known each other for decades, and we just would do anything that we could for each other, right? And so so he co-signed on my house when I bought it. Wasn't that I couldn't afford it, it just, when you're self-employed, this is way more than anybody needs to know, but anyway. So I forgot that he needed to co-sign on there, and so I called him and I said, I mean, I texted him, I said, "I'm really sorry, this is last minute, blah blah blah, can you do this?" He's like, "Great, we'll do it on Friday." So that was last week. So in the early morning of Tuesday, I woke up in just a cold sweat, and just this, oh no, what was that about? I had a dream that he had died. And while I wasn't necessarily concerned that it was real, because I'm like, I never have prescient dreams, that's just not my deal, you know. um I was like, yeah, what is this about? And he texted me just a few hours later and said, "My dad died last night in Israel. I have to fly, so I can't sign papers like we planned." And I was just like, even for me, this is weird. Okay.
Mhm.
Just
Yeah, I
to
know what you
say,
mean. Right, right.
because it's not common for me.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so this is why, for me, in some ways, it's affirmation that we are going to have spirits show up. Um, I didn't know his father. He But he connected with me because I know his son so well. And this was his way of saying, please, talk to him, and know that I'm another connection for you now, this is just now coming in on the other side. So we will have, it's going to be busy that Thursday night. That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I haven't tuned in to even check on that, but I can pretty much guarantee that's true. I
Yeah,
mean, that's how it works, right? When
exactly.
especially spirit knows when mediums and people who are sensitive are in the room. And so for them, it can be very exciting. I don't doubt any of you that are going to be going will also be kind of putting that shout out to your loved ones. Certainly, it doesn't have to be a night all of mediumship or anything like that. That we'll just see what comes up as questions and things like that. But yeah, they'll try to get in, and sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. Real direct messages, but we'll do the best we can with the wonderful spirit gang that will be hanging out there. So
Definitely. I mean, he did not have a message for me. I didn't see his father. He was in his stead. My friend was taking his place in the dream.
yeah, exactly.
So
That's what it sounds like. Yeah. Very interesting, right?
it
Sometimes, like you said, it doesn't happen to me all the time either, but and I'm sure many of you have had have prophetic dreams, or just visions and things like that, since we are all psychic and have abilities.
exactly.
But yeah, same for me. I'm like that too. It's not like I always have those. And something happened to me recently too, but for the life of me, I can't remember what it is, but it seems to me it was like a dream, and something played out not that long ago. And if I can think of it later, I'll I'll share it. But I don't know. I don't know what it was.
So yeah, the world of the uh non-physical phenomena, right? I
Yes, yeah.
mean, And then to boot, I get on the phone with my spine surgeon because I have bad problems with my back. And I ended up that I have my osteoporosis is so bad, I'm not even a candidate for back surgery at this point. But anyway, as you know, my sign is in the back here, and he's like, we get through sort of what's going on with my back, and then he says, so now I have a question.
It's been trying to read it the whole time, right? Like,
he was
like meetings. What?
He's like, I've had this happen like 3 or 4 times. Is that no? There's no coincidences. Yeah. He's like, I kept hearing paradise and songs about paradise, and people were talking to me about paradise. I'm like, well, what do you think it means? Paradise to me means Hawaii. So yeah, we've been talking about a trip to Hawaii. I'm like, oh, please, come on, go.
Yeah, right. There you go. There's your
So
there's your
so
thing.
funny, I mean, but for people who don't experience this on an everyday basis, it's not their job, then sure, I understand why they would ask. So
Yeah, right, right.
So white knuckle right ahead, because we got a question from Rudy.
Yeah.
And if you know Rudy, he used to work at East West with us. That's how I know him. And he has his own spiritual practices and healing work, and he just has been so supportive of us. So he wrote us this question, and I was just like, oh, that's a humdinger, because it's new to me. So I'm gonna let my guides answer it, but I'm gonna read it, and Tammy's gonna start us off with it. So he says, I just came up with a few questions. Very simple. What is light language? Light, light language. Is it a universal language? Are there different dialects based on planet, region of space, dimension, or galaxy? So I'll read it in pieces again. What is light language? You want to start there?
Okay, sounds good. Let's see. Light language is a universal language that you all know very well. All of you are involved with light language. It is, you tell me, in a sense, it's beyond description. It's a knowing, it's a universal language that knows no boundaries. Comes in, they show me a very pure light. They tell me that they're saying to me, Tammy, you know what that is. And I would agree with that. What they're wanting me to talk about actually is when I would do some of my meditations, and I would get in a really deep meditation. And then I channel anyway. I'm connecting to my guides and so forth. But at those times, it would come in, I would start receiving information that came in so quickly. And I wished I could, record it somehow, right? Because it's of that higher realm, that high stuff. And that's how I know that it was from a very high source. And it would come in very quickly. And it's a shame in many ways, because I didn't take all of it back to, just earth plane consciousness, because it was coming in really quickly.
Yeah.
And that's what they wanted me to mention, because that's sort of like what it is. They're telling me it comes from pure source, and it's something that everybody can relate to. It's sort of like the glue, what we think of, source itself, for God, light. It's like the glue of all language. It's the main language. And so go to your other part of that you want to read.
Well,
Julie?
you kind of answered some of it. You said,
Okay.
so what is light language? Is it a universal language, which you said it was? Are there
That's the
different
question.
dialects based on planet, region of space?
Yeah, I wanted to touch on that because that's a good question. So we'd say, guides, yeah, universal language for sure. Are there different dialects based on planet, region, space, dimension, or galaxy? I'm getting no, not necessarily. Some may think so. They said some may discern it as such. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but that's kind of what they're giving me. But not necessarily. I wanted to write down too, because then Rudy went on to say that some say they are speaking Palladian, or others might be speaking Arcturian.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, it was like a second kind of thing he mentioned in there. So some of the other star systems that it might be coming in that way. What do we say about that, guys? They tell me again, it's not necessarily a dialect in itself. There are star systems that equate to that same vibration of what we are speaking of. So in their own terms, it may be like a dialect, or that it is spoken in a certain way, but it comes from one universal language, they keep saying. And so hopefully I answered some of that. This part, region of space, dimension, or galaxy, different dialects based, different ones based on different galaxies. That's a good question. No, that's what I'm getting. No, I guess it's like all one of some sort, you know.
So it exactly as you left it, all one comes from the one. So what they're telling me is this is information that comes from source, as you said, um, the all the one, and comes in as light. So light is information, um, and we hear and take in this information and process it as we need to. Most people are not aware of it. Um, I was not aware of it. I never heard of it, but the information that I get comes from light, and that's what this is. It's just translated so that I can understand what I need to hear.
Mhm.
So it's like they're saying to me, what good is a language if nobody can understand it, right? I mean, that makes sense. But all information, all languages are based on light. It's just it's let's hang on. This the speed of light, the it this information travels on the speed of light. That's why it's called a light language. It's not necessarily that it has a dialect. I think, like you said, there's no dialect. It's just information that comes through on light source, on the speed of light. And some people may sound like they're speaking something else. It's what they hear. I'm not going to say that it is or isn't true or right or wrong or whatever. It may be how they hear and interpret it. I hear and interpret this information, and it comes through to me in the language I understand. But it is of the light.
Mhm.
That's what we mean by a light language.
Right. They just also, if I may add on there, showed me impressions that it's can come in many different ways than and even it's just hearing anything that it's much of like what our abilities are, the clairs, right?
Right.
And it can come in different ways where we feel that's when we're kind of knowing, sensing, claircognizance, maybe, that sort of feeling. So it comes in different. They kept saying, showing me, they kept showing me the two words unspoken word. It's an unspoken word of light, in a sense.
Exactly. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. Uh, in a weird way. It's not hieroglyphics, but it's symbols. It's just information that comes in from light, from the speed of light, and everybody. I'm not going to repeat it. It's what I said before.
Yeah, we interpret it differently. Like you said, all of us can be interpreting it individually. Yeah, good question. That is really
Yeah.
interesting on the light language.
And you
Um,
may not hear something that I hear, and I may not hear something that you hear, and it doesn't mean it's not the same light language.
right.
I don't know what that means, but
Correct. That makes sense. That makes sense.
so
Thank you.
yeah, that was definitely well, that threw me. I had to buckle up for that one.
Thank you, Rudy. Yeah, we enjoyed that.
Oh, Rudy, I love you, Rudy. You're great. Okay, so I have a friend who I've mentioned, Marco, and he is oh he's so funny. So sometimes we get on the phone, we just chit chat about stuff, but then he's like, okay, now on to the good stuff. What did they say about the universe and what's going on with the planet and all this? And I'm like, dude, I'm in bed, Maybe we should set up a time when I could actually connect in.
Yeah.
So, and I'm connected in now. So let's narrow that down just a little bit to our country. We told you there was going to be, and I said this at the beginning, how listen to us, we give you a timeline because we that's what the strongest possibility is this timeline that we're giving you. We told you at the beginning, actually it was at the end of last year and into this year, that there was going to be, we said chaos, and we don't necessarily mean chaos in that way, just a lot of volatility. It's going to be up one day, down the next, up and down, just silly, crazy volatility, at least in your stock market, which runs, it doesn't run things, but it impresses upon people certain things that may or may not happen as they believe them or interpret them to be. So it's like good jobs report one month, bad jobs report next month. Up one month, down the next month. It's just this volatility, and that's what you're gonna experience really throughout the rest of the year. Because I actually asked this of my guys before I came in, and they hadn't answered me before now. So we're going back with what we said. Volatility this year, lots of ups and downs, lots of weird things. And when we say weird things, we mean like, okay, this is political, but we're going to give you an example of this. Weird things like who wants to fight with Mickey Mouse? I mean, why would you have a fight with Mickey Mouse? It's a very political argument that's going on about that, and nobody wants Disney to battle. Everybody loves Disney. How could you not, right? And they said, "Oh, and Disney will win." I'm like, Yahoo! So, so weird kind of things like that are happening. Your planet is just very experiencing that up and down, those waves, those movements as well. But we do not see it collapsing. God. In the way that you would think now or might think. Many people have talked about civilizations of the past, like Lemuria and Atlantis, and we have certainly seen several civilizations come and go. This is not unusual. And it is a correction. And you may see a kind of correction happening because, to be very honest with you, your country is out of control. It's like 100 years back into the Wild West, and it needs a correction. And so that's a lot of what this volatility is. Unfortunately, it plays out in your government representatives, and it plays out with a lot of killing and guns and just trying to shut people down. And it's just a lot of this back and forth, up and down. I'm right, you're wrong. You're wrong. I'm right. It's this craziness going on, and this is what we said was going to happen this year. So it's not changing. It is going to continue this year. You're going to see a lot of this play out. Next year, you're going to see a little bit of that change, in that the focus, again, this is for your country, is on your elections. Ugh.
Yeah, big off. I don't want to call
That's
it.
the way I feel too. I'm like, ugh. I'm just tired of it. So you're going to see much more focus on that. And again, you're right, I'm wrong, I'm right, you're wrong. But in a different way. It's the battle of the politicians in your country, and not exclusive to your country. I mean, we see this happening in other countries in the world too. So this is moving us to a reset. What does that reset mean? We don't know exactly yet. We don't know whether it means a lot of death and despair. It will mean some of that. Wow, they're just having at it here. And it may mean we emerge from that with our values and priorities of the human race. What do we do? But this planet has finite resources as it stands right now. And so things have to change.
Mhm.
And if they don't, by by your voluntary um, by your voluntary participation, then we will force that change. Not my guides, but the planet will force that change.
Mhm.
I don't want to say that's depressing, but I have to be honest with you, it doesn't bother me because I'm here at a point in time where I was meant to be here, and I'll leave at the moment in time when I was meant to leave. And I'm sorry for, those who were left behind, because it will get harder before it gets better.
Yeah, I know. I feel that way a lot for the younger generations.
So, yeah. So what came up from your guides about what they just said?
Well, a couple things. A lot of shaking up of something. I don't know if this means earthquakes or I'm not a predictor necessarily, though. Sometimes they definitely can drop in. Um, but I just saw kind of a lot of shaking up, like, I don't know if that means literally or figuratively or whatever it might be. But we can't rule out earthquakes, obviously. Um, and I agree that, what when you're talking about, Julie, about that everybody's really needing more to come together, that's what I'm just getting to. If we're just looking at our country, it just feels so divided in many ways and there's no unity. I mean, I can't say there's no unity. They're saying there is some unity, but not in big enough ways to really make it, because they're showing me how there's unity in one way of thinking and then there's unity in another way of thinking. Well, then where's the answers to that? So everybody is kind of left flailing in many ways. Many know what to do in this country to go in the right direction of protection of others, but there are so many, just seeing, these brick walls that keep popping up, not allowing some of these very important, they're showing me, how do you say it, guides? But very important decisions, we'll just use that for now, being passed and going through. There's just so much of, yeah, what they're telling me is I'm hearing, like, you can't take away my rights. Now, I too am not going to go into anything political here, what I'm thinking, because I just don't do that. I don't like politics. But that's what I've heard is like, you can't take away my rights. And yet, even if they know it might be something that would be for the better of the good, we're just always like this. So what they're showing. Um, True enough, you all will create, they said, your own, do we want to call it disaster? But that's almost what I'm getting at, or that what I'm getting.
So,
Um, yeah.
so what I have been hearing, at least in the last week or so, with so many more of these mass killings, is that you're going to see the people marching against that. I can't think of the words either. The words are not coming to me either, but people are going to stand up to this. Young people, more and more and more young people are going to stand up to this, and they're going to force the politicians to change. And the ones that don't, they're going to get the word out. Then you can't vote for these people, because we cannot be back in the Wild West where people are just shooting people because they don't like that somebody told you to turn the noise down. This is,
Right.
and we don't live in that society.
Yeah.
And so we have to put a stop to that. And many more young people and older people as well you're going to see these marches and this not resistance. I can't think of the word, but this, to stop, to come to the politicians and say, we're not putting up with this anymore. You
Yeah.
will change this. You will change this. And yes, you are not going to take our rights away, but that means over our bodies and over our homes and over our children, and as guaranteed by your constitution.
And it's, you know what, this is going to be a tall order for those that are younger generations coming in. I just feel, again, not to be doom and gloom, but I'm thinking, but then you're right where you need to be with your lessons of what you're choosing to come into to learn. So there will be a lot of calls for standing up for truth, standing up for change. It may not be too easy. I think some of us in the generation I'm in, that Julie's in, we're doing some work, but we're paving it. We're going on the out. These others that are going to be coming in are truly going to have to learn to live in love. I just got a lot of stuff around the heart chakra.
Well, it's
So
interesting that you say that, because that's the ultimate goal. And the more people who think that, it will lead to that end result. However, to get there, there's going to be so much resistance that you have to fight to get to that place. And the younger people, that, again, what Tammy just said, you are here for that reason. And you must fight. You are guaranteed to be here and to have your rights protected under, at least in the United States, under our Constitution. And when somebody pulls out a gun and says, I don't like the way you look or what you said, that's that is unacceptable. That is not what we stand for in this country, and indeed the rest of the world, I'm pretty sure. So it is getting back and saying, this is unacceptable. This is unacceptable. Mm-hmm. And your greed and your ego and your control and your power is coming to an end. And they're saying to me, that time is coming to an end. The people who hold those reins, their time is coming to an end.
They're holding pretty tightly, though. I can see that.
They are, but it is coming to an end.
Yeah.
Not this year, but we will see more movement next year in that direction. Fight the right way. Fight
more power to you, young folk coming in.
Right. Fight with your voice and fight with your vote.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's end on a happy note.
So anyway,
the sun has come out. The sun will come out tomorrow. Well, thankfully, it just came out today. We had rain here. If you live in the Bay Area,
yeah, a little rain.
Yeah, I'm like, wait a minute. I pulled all that stuff out because I thought we were gonna have, typical May, June weather is coming.
Yeah.
Hot one minute and rain in the next. But enjoy it. Anything you want to close with, Tammy?
Let's see. What do we have, guides? Oh, thank you. They're going to something very positive. Your hearts are full of love. Do not forget, you are born with that energy of love. Mm-hmm. And that is what you always want to visit at the end of the day, if not during the day. So please take time to revisit that love that you came in here with. That is your divine right to embrace and to share with others. That is a powerful, powerful antidote to anything that is negative in your world. Returning to the love centers you and helps you come back into a place where you are able to make more concise, they're giving me the word wiser, decisions. So visit it often. It's when you move away from that for far too long, many of you have been for far too long, or even just a little bit, that you start to see the manifestations of that as well. So every day, come back to center, reminding yourself that you come from love, you are worthy of love, and that others will reap the benefits of being around that positive energy that you share.
And don't worry, you're right where you're meant to be. All right. So until next time, which will likely be after May 11th, I think we said, right, Tammy?
Maybe, yeah. We'll have to discuss and see. Yeah, probably.
Wait to see you either live and in person or wherever you see us. Until then, we are two psychic moms.
All right. Have a good day.